So today I want to talk all about instant manifestations. What does it really mean to have an instant manifestation, and how do you get them, and explain. And spoiler alert, instant manifestations are not about what the 3D does instantly, but about who you are being right now in this instant. But before I get deeper into that, in trying to explain instant manifestations to you in a deeper, different way, that you're gonna get it in a different way, you're gonna get it instantly, I should introduce myself. My name is Genevieve, and on this channel, we talk obviously all about manifestation, in particular law of assumption, and some other things that I found that have been very supportive, complementary of law of assumption. So if you are interested in manifesting whatever you want, exactly what you want, then please stick around, subscribe to my channel, and please like this video as well so that other people can find it. I'll say that I do have links in the description below for all kinds of different things. You can do a one-on-one session with me. You can get courses. You can get a meditation for manifesting a male SP. You can even see a different channel that I have that is an older project I did that was a healing ASMR channel. So lots of different ways to saturate yourself in Genevieve. But with that out of the way, let's just get into this in terms of this coveted question of how do I get instant manifestations? So I am going to start this video by explaining to you why manifestation works. The only reason that manifestation is possible and that it works is because none of us are separate. And not just us humans who are thinking in the realm of consciousness, all the things that physically exist in the 3D are also a part of our system of one consciousness. So even things like this exists in the oneness of consciousness, this exists in the oneness of consciousness, everything that is in the 3D and also everything that is within you that you could think of and believe in, all of it is a part of one consciousness. So you are not separate. You're not separate from this. You're not separate from this. You're not separate from me. I'm not separate from you. We are all like hologram reflectors of each other and of this oneness. And all of us embody the whole within ourselves, and nothing that is outside is not inside. I'm reminding you of this because if we really were separate, if me and you were separate, if me and this pen were separate, if me and the hair clip were separate, you and your specific person, if you guys were truly separate, it wouldn't matter what you believed about yourself or what you assumed about that other person, because no matter what you believed or assumed, that other person would never feel it. They're not a part of it. They wouldn't be a part of the same system as you. They wouldn't have anything to do with you. You would be totally separate, and so nothing you did would ever affect them. But we have enough proof now, or at least I have enough proof now. I don't know about you. Maybe you're still sorting through if you really believe in all of this, and that's totally okay if you're still sorting it out, because I get it. It's a really big paradigm shift to go from a very egoic, 3D based, a linear way of thinking where everything really is separate and you only believe in what you can see, and if you and that person over there aren't conjoined at the hip physically, then they technically are separate from you and you have no influence on them. And I get that so many of us humans, we come into this life with this egoic amnesia where we forget that there is this more spiritual link of oneness holding all of this 3D reality together, and it can take you some time to really get on board with this idea. So if you don't believe in this yet, that's okay. At least you're here, at least you're practicing, at least you are getting some trust. But I'll speak for myself and say I've been doing this long enough now that it's just uncanny how much proof and evidence that I have that when you have an assumption about yourself, when you have a belief about yourself, when you have an I am statement that's very genuine and solid in how you claim it, that the world and the people who are affected by your specific assumption, they instantly will match it. And by match it, I mean reflect it, confirm it. They will give you the evidence that it is indeed true. But here's the thing, many of you are trying to manifest, and I have another video about how you need to stop trying to manifest, but many of you are trying to manifest to get that other person or this thing, whatever it is, to confirm it for you. You are not confirming it for yourself. You're simply trying really hard. You're doing things like techniques or affirmations. You're doing this in a very 3D egoic way of like, okay, if I just put in enough effort, maybe I'll get the result that I want. And then finally it will be confirmed to me that yes, I am loved, or that yes, I am successful. If I just do enough, it will be confirmed to me through the outside that that is true. And if you are attempting manifestation in that way, you will feel like this takes forever. You will get so burned out. You will feel like this doesn't work, and you will never feel like your manifestations are instant, because you aren't really believing in what you're saying. Or really, I should say, you're not believing in what you're claiming is true for yourself right now. So let me give you some specific examples of what I mean by, what is an instant manifestation. So I'm going to use a negative example, because I feel like if I use a negative example, that will actually be a little bit more relatable, a little bit more believable to you. So let's say that right now you are claiming that I am worthless. And it's just like, yep, I am worthless. And the moment that you are claiming that, this I am worthless, you know it's true. Like you know what this is like to have a negative assumption come upon you. And just the minute you think that yep, nobody chooses me. Nobody chooses me. I'm never chosen. I'm worthless, or something like that. You instantly know that it's true. That's an instant manifestation. And that is what you're wanting to do. That's the same kind of conviction that you're having about being worthless, or that you're having about not being chosen. You want to feel. And although I'll say feel is subjective, and it's not about feeling really good, it's simply about feeling like it's true. So this is what Neville Goddard meant by feeling is the secret. It's not feeling super positive and high on life all the time. It's about feeling like, yeah, that's true. That's a fact. Like I am loved. That's a fact. Like I just know that's true. So that's obviously a positive example. But so I use the negative example though, because you know how convicted that can feel. Like when you have a negative assumption come upon you, it is instant. And that the minute you believe and know that you are worthless, it's like you just know it. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if you're just sitting alone in the dark in your room. You just know it's true. Like you don't even have anything in the 3D confirming in that moment that like, yep, you are worthless. You just know it's true, because in that moment it's like, yep, it's true. I am worthless, and it's just true. So again, I bring up that example because that is exactly how it should feel with a more positive version of reality that you can choose. And remember, it's up to you. If you want to be in a reality where you are worthless, God gave you that ability to choose that reality for yourself if you want. So there's no shame or blame or condemnation. If you want to live in a negative reality, that's totally up to you. There can be interesting things to mine from the experience of choosing to be a victim and choosing to see yourself that way. And I think that's why a lot of us humans do have phases of going into those kinds of realities, because there's something interesting to learn in that experience, that more tight and limited experience. Like creating a limitation for ourselves makes it even more enjoyable to eventually overcome it. And so that's probably why we as humans, we kind of dip in and out of fulfillment, although we're always fulfilled, I should say, no matter what. Even if we're in a victim state, we are never separate from our fulfillment. But we have this choice if we can slip into any identity we want at any time. And sometimes there's an interesting thing to get out of being in any kind of a victim state. So anyway, but that conviction of maybe the opposite of knowing that you are loved, like that same conviction can happen to you where it's like same scenario. You're just sitting in a dark room by yourself and you're just like, whoa, I am loved. Like I'm really loved. And it's just like this knowing that comes onto you. And again, there's nothing in the 3D in that moment that is confirming like, yeah, you're loved. You just know it because you're just like, whoa, all of a sudden I just have this I am. And that I am is that I am so loved. Or you could even have it be more specific. Like if you are manifesting a specific person, it could just be in that moment, you're like, whoa, my specific person is like really pursuing me right now. And you just know it. Like you've no proof. Again, you're just sitting in the darkness of your room. There's no 3D thing saying that that's true. But because you just have this convicted knowing. And I want you to really know that that knowing comes from you, because I also know from a lot of you, from speaking to clients and also just from comments, you've gotten that knowing before, often before you even knew about law of assumption, where all of a sudden out of nowhere you just knew something, and it was like an intuitive epiphany that came to you. Like, whoa, I just know this. And for a lot of you, it can be confusing because you came into law of assumption where you learned that you are the only one thinking, you're the only one knowing anything. And you used to think that your knowings were like coming from something else. Because this is, I guess I should speak for myself, because this definitely happened to me too. I was a practicing intuitive before I knew about law of assumption. So whenever I would just get random impressions or just random knowings about things, I thought it was like coming from somewhere else. And partly maybe it was coming from somewhere else, but not really. It was maybe coming from just my higher self, my God self, that is always non-physical and always connected to God. But I assumed that the knowing wasn't really me. It wasn't really me deciding the knowing. It was like something was just injecting the knowing into me. And so I'm bringing this up because I want you to know you can create that sense of knowing within you. You don't need to wait for some like burning bush moment where like it feels like something else, because I get it. It can feel like something else is like telling you that something's true, and then it's like all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I just really trust that that's true because I just got this like intuitive injection that that's true. But really, that's still you. That's still, even if you want to call it your higher self or whatever, it's still you that is knowing that in that moment. And you can create that sense of conviction no matter what it is. And that's why you're able to create a sense of conviction about knowing that you're worthless if you want to be in that. It's not, God isn't the one intuitively telling you, yeah, you're worthless. And that's why you have so much conviction that you're worthless. You know you are feeling worthless simply because you've gained a lot of momentum and your conviction that you are worthless. So it's the same thing, again, with a positive example of like, if you want an instant manifestation of being so loved, you simply have to know you are the only operant power. You are the only one deciding this is true because you are God. You are God expressing itself in human conscious form, and there's nobody saying anything about you besides you. So the minute that you're in your dark room, nothing in the 3D is going on, and you say, whoa, my SP like really loves me, and you feel that sense of like, yes, that is true. That's an instant manifestation. That's it. That is the manifestation. The after effects of that, just like the example of being worthless or the example of being loved, you will totally, in both the negative or positive tracks that you choose, you will eventually see proof or evidence of both. Like if you're in the I am worthless camp, then yeah, you are probably gonna see your relationship suffer, or you are gonna not feel successful in your life, or you're gonna see the evidence that would support this ongoing assumption, this ongoing I am, that you are worthless. But that doesn't mean that the knowing of being worthless took time to manifest. It manifested the minute that you convictedly decided, yes, I am worthless. And that moment that you decided that was the manifestation. That was the entire thing. The entire thing was in that moment. And then later you saw almost like aftershocks of it. That's kind of what I would want you to think of, like the 3D manifested world, or like aftershocks of what you have already decided is true. So the 3D is not the manifestation. That's what I so wish everyone could take their focus off of the 3D, because so many of you, again, think that the 3D is the full thing, that like that's the prize, that the 3D changing is the prize, or yeah, something like that. And it's just not. The moment that you decide this is true, it just is. This is just what's true, and you just have claimed it. That is the entire manifestation. And the last thing I'll say about this, and is more like kind of proof, I guess, that is the entire manifestation, you just knowing your I am, you just claiming this new fact about yourself. The reason you know that's true, part of it, I should say, is because you have to ask yourself, like, why is it that you want the 3D thing so bad? Like, why do you want that person or that job or that money or all that stuff? And I'm sure you can think of lots of egoic, logical things to say, but really, at the core of it, you want money and love and health and success. You want those things because of the way that you think that you will feel once you get those things. All of us as humans, we're chasing experiences. We're chasing a sense of purpose in this life. And Again, the 3D things we see, like money and love and attention from other people, those are after effects of us getting in touch with our sense of purpose and love and experience and all of that within. We, as these cool humans, we can have a full body experience of something that we literally have no proof of. That's what makes us so cool as creators. And that's why, again, the example about you being worthless, or you being in the dark room feeling I am worthless, is such a powerful example, is because, again, yeah, in that example, you have no proof that you are worthless. I'm sure you've even had experiences of being around people who are complimenting you and actually saying, oh my gosh, you're so amazing and I love you, blah, blah, blah. And if you in that moment still feel I am worthless, even when the 3D does give you something positive, like people complimenting you or giving you attention, you can't receive it. You are not able to accept that evidence that wants to give you a different story, because you are still manifesting, still being loyal to the I am worthless story. So nothing positive could even access you. So that's how you know that what you say is true is really the only thing that's true, because even if the 3D tried to give you the opposite, when you're really convicted, and so I'll give the opposite in a positive way of like, so I am so loved by my specific person. Even if you really are convicted in that, even if the 3D temporarily showed you something that was opposite, you would brush it off. You would not even, it wouldn't really get you, because you're like, even if, again, temporarily, because this is the example that scares most people, so I'll say it, even if temporarily your specific person there was a third party scare or something, that if you really believed that your specific person is pursuing you, and they're pursuing you right now, and they love you and only you right now, you would be not very threatened by that. You wouldn't even really take it in. You wouldn't be able to really take it in, because you're like, I just know what's really happening here. So that is what I want you to get, is into that experience of like, I know who I am. I know what's going on. The very second I decide what my I am is, and I genuinely stay loyal to it, that is an instant manifestation. And the more you are very genuinely convicted of what is true, ironically, the 3D does tend to manifest a little bit faster. But I don't want you to get caught up on that, because I think a lot of you are in resistance towards yourself because you're trying to force yourself to be even more convicted and even more believing, because you want the 3D to prove it to you so bad. It's still another version of you being hard on yourself, because again, you want the 3D to prove it to you so bad. But again, the more you don't really need the 3D to prove it to you, because just like in the I am worthless example, you just know it's true. You just know, I don't even need the 3D to prove to me that I'm worthless, because I just know I'm worthless. So I don't even, it's like, I just know it's true. Like, I hope using the negative example is making sense, because it really is the exact same thing in the positive world, but the flip side, where it's like, I don't even need the 3D to prove to me that I am so loved, because I just freaking know it. Like, I'm like overwhelmed in this moment of just knowing I am so freaking loved, and therefore nothing in the 3D would really bother you that much if it was temporarily contradictory, because you would just be like, that doesn't even mean anything to me. Like, I know that I'm loved. Like, there's not, like, you can't penetrate this. I know that I'm loved, you know? So anyway, that is what I have for you today. I hope that made sense to you and you understand what instant manifestations mean now. It doesn't mean the 3D, although, like I said, the 3D can often quickly match you the more convicted you are, but don't get too fixated on that, because you're going to trip your ego up. But yeah, the more you are so just convicted and already having the experience that you want, that like right now, yeah, I'm having this great experience. I just know this is who I am. This is just who I am. I just know it. And the more you're convicted in that, and you don't really need the 3D to prove it to you, because you just know who you are, you're going to have really instant manifestation. So when you claim your I am, no matter what it is, if it's positive or negative, it is instant. And the more you persist in it, the more you are loyal to it, the more you are unshaken in this I am, then boom, you're going to see the aftershocks in the 3D, in terms of the 3D is going to confirm it to you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what else you would like me to talk about, and I will see you in my next video. All right, bye.